Hello everyone and welcome to Heartbeat Alaska, Native News and Native Information. I'm Jeannie Green. Thank you so much for joining us once again. Today we're in Anchorage, Alaska, the Fur Rendezvous Native Arts and Crafts Fair. And this is more than just an arts and crafts sale, and that's for sure, as you'll come to see and meet some of the people that are here, some of the many artists. It is a time for fellowship and fun. Also on this week's show, we have great news for the youth of Southwest Alaska. There's a new scholarship program that could change your life. Stay tuned for the Coastal Villages Report.
For Jeannie's show, it's the Aleut, the Indian and the Eskimo.
Heartbeat Alaska is brought to you in part by Coastal Villages Region Fund. Thank you, CVRF, for your support of Heartbeat Alaska. And Heartbeat Alaska is also brought to you by Frontier Airlines. Thank you, Frontier Airlines, for getting Heartbeat Alaska airborne.
Hi, I'm Mark from Scan Home, and we are proud to sponsor Heartbeat Alaska.
Scan Home, serving all of Alaska's home and office furnishing needs. Thank you, Scan Home, for making Heartbeat Alaska possible.
Heartbeat Alaska is brought to you in part by Brown's Electric Lighting Gallery. Thank you, Brown's Electric, for your generous support of Heartbeat Alaska.
We've been covering businesses, families, and individuals since before Alaska was a state. And we'll keep doing it until the glaciers melt on Mount McKinley. Primera Blue Cross Blue Shield of Alaska. We're here. We're with you.
If you've ever traveled around rural Alaska, you know it can be expensive and sometimes hair-raising. But what if traveling around Alaska were as simple as going on a short walk? That's just what it's like at the Fur Rendezvous Native Crafts Fair. Walking around the fair, it's easy to find bargains on native crafts. But the real treasure here is the people and their stories.
These are my work here. These are mailing loose.
I decided to start out way up north in Point Hope, Alaska. This is Ken Lisbourne. He was quite happy to share his work with us.
They tell the story of the past in the Point Hope area.
What is this story about?
This one here is the Eskimo dance, and it goes on during the whaling feast in Point Hope during the month of June. And this is what goes on, but this is in the past.
As you can see from this home video, taken a few years ago, the traditions of whaling are still alive and well in Point Hope.
But these are mostly stories of the Eskimo, and they're like ghosts, transparent ghosts in the past.
From Point Hope, I walked down south past a few vendors to find Bessie Myers from Nome. Her inspiration to start carving came from something she held in the palm of her hand.
I was using one of my mom's old berry combs, and I started to get afraid of losing it, so I thought I better make some. They're designed after my mother's old one. And here's an old picture where you have a berry comb in the forefront.
With the berry comb, berry picking goes much faster.
They really work. With these, I can pick 7 gallons of blackberries in 1 hour, and my husband picks 5 gallons.
From Nome, it was just a hop, skip, and maybe a jump over to Savunga.
Savunga's a fairly new community, although we are Siberian Yupik people that have lived up here for thousands of years.
John Waghiyi is from Savunga, and not only did he bring some of their great art, but he also brought history.
But we are what they call Siberian Yupik people. Our mother village is Gamble, and then some of our people came from Chukotka. We have same songs and dances.
As the Russians?
That we perform, yeah. Pretty much the same. Well, they know a lot of our songs. Our grandfathers sang with them, and so we know a lot of their songs. They know a lot of our songs.
From there, I wandered over to see Ellen Savage. Ellen was born in Shagaluk, Alaska, though not exactly in Shagaluk.
I was born out in the woods where my mama was picking berries in fall time. So long ago, they don't go for having baby in the hospital. They go anywhere, no matter where it is, they have their baby.
Ellen has been making these birch bark baskets since she was a child.
Because my mama makes them all the time, and I watch her. She always working at these baskets like this, and I watch her, and I learn.
I was impressed with Ellen's baskets. I just had to buy one for me. From Ellen's table, we head to Nunivak Island and the village of Makoyak. Carrie Herman is excellent at making traditional dance fans, even though she's a little timid about using them.
Relative probably, so yeah, maybe they do like it.
Carrie's daughter Emily uses many of these same grass weaving skills to make these amazing baskets.
The colors, some of them are natural and some are rich, and some of the straw is the natural color of the sedge, grass, whatever it's called.
Both Emily and Carrie are more than just artists. They're also singers. I was humming that tune all the way down to southern Alaska, home of the Alutiiq people. They live on these rugged islands and are amazing seagoers. In the past, they traveled hundreds of miles out to sea in their bidarkas. That kind of travel requires the proper headgear.
This is a Aleut hunting hat.
Peter Lind makes fantastic reproductions of these hunting hats.
And the reason why it's long, for the weather. Like if it's raining, if it's blowing, then when they see animal, they put their head down when they're paddling up to it. Then when they get close, they put their head back up. And in the bottom, there's a little ridge. That's a sight for this harpoon. The reason why this is decorated one side, because they use that harpoon right there.
Oh, I see.
People ask me why it's decorated one side. And this little guy's always there because it's good luck. People look at it, hey, look at that hat, you know. It isn't just a hat. And it's a survival. If they lost their oar, they went home with it, took it off and paddled.
His wife, Darlene, makes traditional Alutiiq headdresses. And Darlene, by the way, thank you for the gift.
This one is based on one that was made in the late 1800s.
Darlene is so concerned about the quality of her work, she almost makes them bulletproof.
I used Kevlar, which is the thread that you use on the bulletproof vests. Because I want to do things that are well made and they're going to last a long, long time, I'm careful with my materials. And so this is all made with Kevlar through here. And then down on the larger beads, I've done actually 4 strands are in there of the bonded nylon, 4 strands, so 2 going down, 2 coming back.
The Native Craft Fair is also about learning.
Go. Now get your right hand to do a straight line.
Now, I'm a professional Native television hostess, so the Eskimo yo-yo should be no problem, right?
What am I going to do with this other side?
You'll see. One step at a time.
I'm stuck. I can't move.
Okay, there you go. Now, when your hand goes down, you throw the other one straight down. And you maintain the same motion with a straight line. There you go. Now you're a trained professional.
Not for very long.
What? It takes practice.
So, there you go. Nothing to it. This takes a little more practice.
My last stop
Thank you.
is way down in Tlingit country. Mabel Pike is from Juneau.
My grandmother used to sew moccasins when I was about 8, 9 years old, and I remember her sitting sewing these. That's how I got started.
Many years ago, she organized the first Fur-Rondy Native Craft Show. She's still here with the beautiful moccasins she learned to make so many years ago.
And she used to sell these to a curio shop in Juneau. And that's how she put food on our table. And so it was a must that I learned the beadwork, and I graduated to making the slippers before
How long
too
have you
long.
been beading?
Oh, since I was 6 years old. 82 years old today.
That's 76 years if you're counting. Now, if you're like me and can hardly wait for this year's craft fair, you're in luck. It will take place February 19th through the 23rd at the Diamond Center in Anchorage.
It's Alaska.
Stay tuned. Coming up next on the Coastal Villages Report, exciting news that's changing Southwest Alaska, one student at a time.
Sitka to Barrow, gather around for Jeannie's show. It's the Aleut, the Indian and the Eskimo.
It's about not doing drugs. It's about knowing where you come from, what you do, and who you are. It's about not doing drugs.
Each week, Heartbeat Alaska brings you great stories from all over the state. And we couldn't do it without the generous support of Frontier Flying Service. Frontier gets our camera crews where they need to go. So whenever you see a Frontier plane, give them a wave. Say hi from Nuxet. You might just be on Heartbeat Alaska.
Frontier Flying Service, covering Alaska for over 50 years.
Hi, I'm Lisa Zam with Alaska Family Hospice, your home in the city. We would like to invite you to stay with Alaska Family, located right next to the Alaska Native Medical Center. We will have a new addition for our special prenatal guests, a beautiful prenatal home. Call to make your reservations. This fall and winter, every guest is entered in a very special drawing every week for gift certificates, and in December, a grand drawing. So the next time you're coming to Anchorage, stay with Alaska Family, your home in the city.
Jeannie Green Productions, Alaska's premier commercial, documentary, and event production team. Whenever and wherever you need video production, our experienced, dedicated professionals give your project the extra edge you're looking for. Alaska Native owned and operated. Jeannie Green Productions, your complete video production service.
The Louis Bundy Memorial Scholarship was started in the early 90s by Coastal Villages Region Fund to assist past and current residents of Coastal Villages Region Fund who are wanting to attend higher education, whether it's vocation school or to attend a university. And in the past, we've funded students who are majoring in education, biology, aviation. Initially, it had to be fisheries-related studies, but we're expanding now.
Throughout rural Alaska, there is a strong emphasis being placed on higher education. With the limited number of jobs available in the rural villages and coastal communities of our state, the youth may have a hard time finding full-time or even part-time work within their own community. It's going to take a higher education, whether it be a university or technical school. The youth of rural Alaska will need to prepare for the future. There's just one problem.
I don't think we can afford it. I don't think he can afford it unless there are scholarships out there available. Education in Alaska is so expensive. You don't have roads connecting to villages to other. You have to fly. Everywhere you go in Alaska, you have to fly. If you don't go by boat, you have to fly. So that is very expensive. Food, I would say, gets pretty expensive too, especially your books. So scholarship is a need, a definite need.
Hultman Kiokan's son is a past Lewis Bunyan Scholarship recipient, now attending the University of Alaska Anchorage, majoring in air traffic control. With the help of the Lewis Bunyan Memorial Scholarship, many rural Alaskans are able to attend college and vocational school.
We're proposing to increase the fund, and we're doing that because the education that the board representatives have provided to their communities are making the village residents aware that there's this fund available to them, and we're beginning to see a lot of these, high school graduates and others who would like to pursue careers in different fields are applying for the fund, and we're happy to see that happening.
What's required for an application to be complete includes the full application, 2 letters of recommendation, an essay, and an admissions letter. And if they are a past resident of one of our communities, they have to have proof that they were a past resident, whether it be a tribal card or a letter from one of their tradition councils that verifies that they were a past resident.
The amount of each scholarship varies, but to qualify for the funds, applicants must invest their own money or have received funding from other sources.
Well, I applied for as much grants as I could with the AVCP, Jalista Corporation, and Louis Bunyan Memorial, and CVRF. And I also found a job, helped me with my finances.
Renee Green is a junior at Alaska Pacific University and a recipient of the Louis Bunyan Memorial Scholarship, majoring in elementary education. She relies heavily on scholarships and grants to finance her higher education.
I've applied for a lot of different scholarships, like for Chalista, for the Clement Smart Scholarship from Hooper Bay, and the Louis Bunyan. I've also applied for like Pell Grants, financial aid, and the Teacher Scholarship Student Loan. So all of those scholarships are helping to pay for my school.
She is originally from the coastal village of Hooper Bay, with a population of about 1,000 people. Like many of the villages in the region, the residents of Hooper Bay rely on subsistence hunting, fishing, and gathering to survive. But in today's cash economy, everyone must find some way to earn money. Renee's goal is to graduate and return to her home in Hooper Bay, where she will teach at the elementary school. Making it possible for students like Renee to obtain a college degree and return to their village to help others is exactly why CVRF initiated the Lewis Bunyan Memorial Scholarship.
There's vocational training type job, career opportunities out there let's say, for example, there's we have almost all aluminum boats now, metal boats. And they're at one point in time, sometimes in the future, even now, beginning now, we need to have somebody able to maintain these boats. You know, the aluminum hull is going to crack in the water. You know, the fishing boat's going to crack in the water. It's going to be brought up, and somebody's going to have to maintain that. And if somebody can apply for the funds to become an aluminum welder, we'll finance that person, be able to go out and get some training. And I give a lot of encouragement to our high school students here as well, and not just here in Mekoryk, but other villages too, is that this fund is available for you. You know, we're living in a cash economy now, and you cannot live in a village without a job nowadays. You know, even a very simple village like this in Mekoryk, you need to have cash to pay for your heating. You got to have cash to pay for your light bills, telephone, your fun games. You know, cost money to operate. So apply for this fund. You know, it's there.
My advice would be to let your children know about available scholarship that any organization might have. If it's CVRF, go for it. But I do believe they do have money for this purpose.
The goal of the scholarship is to increase the educational and vocational achievements of the residents in the region, especially those skills that directly benefit local communities. Another student from the Coastal Villages region, John Bill, is a computer science major at Alaska Technical Center. Originally from Tooksuk Bay, a small village of about 500 people, John plans to open a small business in the future.
I want to start a small business with repairing computers and networking, and based it over here in Anchorage and extending it out to Bethel.
I also think it's important, you know, for me to go back to Hooper Bay and teach.
It's a great opportunity for individuals who are ambitious about getting higher education. And of course, higher education is important if you want to obtain employment in the future. You know, it's a credential, basically, so employers look for credentials. You can get an application online at www.coastalvillages.org. Or you can call Verla Mochin, who is our employment coordinator. She's the scholarship administrator, and she can be reached toll-free at 1-888-795-5151 or 907-278-5151.
Just do it. You know, you have to start somewhere, and, you know, there's a lot of deadlines that, you know, will be coming up, and you have to remember them. Write them down on your calendar, but you know, in the end, if you just do it, if you try, you can succeed.
My name is Kevin Williams from Mekoryk, and Heartbeat will be back after this. Thank you.
For generations, the Chupik Eskimos of Nunivak Island have maintained the finest herd of reindeer anywhere in the world. The flavor and nutrition of these magnificent free-range deer is unmatched and is now available in commercial USDA-inspected lots. This is the only official outlet for authentic Nunivak reindeer meat. For more information or to place an order, contact Nunavut Reindeer and Seafood Products, Box 42, Mekoryk, Alaska 99630, or call 907-827-8015. Supplies are limited.
Heartbeat wishes to thank Hagelin Aviation Services Incorporated for making our stories possible. We travel on Hagelin Aviation, and we thank you for choosing them too. Hagelin Aviation has been serving Alaskans in the bush for over 20 years.
We fly Hagelins all the time.
Operating with 29 aircraft at 8 stations across Alaska and servicing over 100 destinations daily. Hagelin Aviation, your ticket to ride in rural Alaska.
You're late, Dad.
I know.
I'm almost done with my homework.
Yeah?
Tessa's mad at you.
What's mad at me about?
You said you would play basketball with her. She said she'll never speak to you again.
Parents that are involved with their kids are more likely to help keep their kids away from drugs.
Good. Nothing but that.
Heartbeat Alaska is also brought to you by Frontier Airlines. Thank you, Frontier Airlines, for getting Heartbeat Alaska airborne.
Well, that's it. A lot of shopping, a lot of fun. I bought this from that beautiful elder, Ellen Savage, handmade. And so you see, it's much more than just purchasing a basket. Ellen Savage is a wonderful, beautiful woman that's willing to share her life with us. And she's a part of our Native culture. And that's what this whole Arts and Crafts Fair is all about. It's the youth, and it's the elders, it's everyone in between coming together, fellowshipping, having fun together. You know, and this is what Heartbeat is all about. And I hope we shared a wonderful time with you today. God bless you all. And we'll see you again next week.
Tell me, baby, where did I go wrong?
To purchase a copy of this program, ask for Heartbeat number 11703. That's Heartbeat number 11703. And send a check or money order for $20 to Jeannie Green Productions, 6216 Old Seward Highway, Anchorage, Alaska, 99518, or give us a call, 907-563-7440.